Hi guys, I did the art of possibility this week, and I'm doing the way things are. It talks a lot about um, accepting things the way that they are instead of the way that you think that they should be. It talks about clearing away the shoulds, clearing away the judgments, because we all put judgments in our head and we think the way things should be, and we have a definition of fair and not fair, and those things only have meaning if you give it meaning. I felt like this went along with the mindfulness class that I took last year. If you guys, I think a lot of you guys were in that class. I feel like it goes a lot together. And it also talks about, taking away the blame. Like you just kind of want to point fingers at people that, things aren't the way that they should be. And I think a lot of us, if we just accepted the way things are, it doesn't mean that you can't change that, but you do have to accept the way things are so you can change it. For example, I probably wouldn't even be in graduate school if I accepted things the way that they are, because, you know, plenty of people told me I was too old to go back to school. I didn't need to. I had a job. I didn't, all that kind of thing. But I didn't listen to their shoulds. I went ahead and did it anyway. Also, it's really hard not to make this political because a lot of us are thinking things should not be this way. But I'm going to turn around and make it personal. In the last week, I've lost 3 family members. Okay, let's start by saying I have a very big family. My mom had at one point 11 first cousins. They all had the same father and mother. I mean, 11 first cousins. And in the last week, they've gone from 10 to 8. So 2 brothers died in the same week. And then my dad's sister passed away of the same thing that my dad died of a few years ago. And that was really hard. The timing of this has been really weird. One brother of the cousins died. And then a few days later, um, it was actually my mother's birthday this weekend. My aunt, who was in a nursing home in Columbia, who's very sick, sent my mom a birthday card, and she got it a day early. Actually, she got it on Friday, and her birthday was on Saturday. So she got a card from her in the mail. Literally, like an hour later, someone called and told her she died. So she got a card from her in the mail the same day that she died. Then the next day on my mom's birthday, we took her out. It was actually supposed to be, we were supposed to go to Columbia, and we were like, let's not deal with a dead, a funeral on her birthday. Let's wait. And so, the funeral was actually on Monday. So we took her out, and we came back, and there was a message on the answer machine, and it was that her other cousin, who was a brother of the one who died earlier in the week, had passed away. And also on top of this, I have a cousin who's just a few years older than me, who found out she had breast cancer. So should all these things happen at once? No. Should they all happen at all? It's really hard to not put a negative on all of this. Of course, it is very negative, but you have to accept things the way that they are. In the book, they talk about downward spiral, and I know it's really easy to go in a downward spiral. I think it's really, my mother, thankfully, is not doing that right now, but I think that it would be really easy for her from the last week to go in a downward spiral and be like, everyone's dying around me, and, it's horrible, and just, we're all dying, everything's terrible, and she's not doing that, and I'm really proud of her. And my cousin with the breast cancer, I know she's trying to be very positive because it's very small and they caught it very early. Her mother had breast cancer, so that's another thing, that the negative thinking of, it's really easy to get caught up in but my mother had breast cancer and I have breast cancer, and I'm just going to feel sorry for I'm just going to keep, it's worse and worse. It's just, I'm doomed, because my mother who passed away had breast cancer, and now I have breast cancer. The downward spiral thinking, is something we need to clear out too. That's whenever it's worse and worse. And to make it less negative than all the things that I just said, let's say it's something a lot simpler, like you haven't dated someone in a while. So, you don't have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, whatever the case may be, and you're like, there are no men, there are no women, there's no one to date. It's like that self-fulfilling prophecy. of the downward spiral thinking. So that being said, I thought of a movie it's kind of a cheesy romantic comedy movie, but I thought of this movie called Yes Man, and it's Jim Carrey and Zooey Deschanel from a few years back, and he was in a rut in his life, and he went to one of their self-help things, and they were like, say yes to everything. And so I really wanted to show this clip, and I've attached it below of whenever Zoe kind of figures out that that's what he's been doing the whole time. There's a really cute scene in the movie, and I could not find it on YouTube, where they went to the airport and decided to get on the next flight of wherever it was going, and it was going to Lincoln, Nebraska. And so they went to Lincoln, Nebraska, and they had a great time, and they went to a Cornhuskers game, and they showed Jim Carrey with like full body paint on. I love stuff like that. Anyway, so I feel like Yes Man sort of, and the movie kind of goes off the rails anyway. Saying yes does not work out for him, but I think in a way it kind of did. And it kind of does. It will get you out of that downward spiral thinking if you are putting a positive spin on everything. So anyway, that being said, I feel like I'm rambling. What have you guys had where you're thinking things are just worse and worse and worse in the downward spiral thinking? And you could talk about Trump, or you could talk about whatever you want. Anyway, I will see you guys next week, and think about that. What are your shoulds that you should be cleared away? Bye, guys. See you later.